Hello. Please remember to silence your cell phones or set them to vibrate before we begin. Take a moment. Okay. My name's Jason Schreiber. I run a little studio called Powerhead Games in New York City. Can everyone hear me okay? I don't really need this microphone, do I? Okay. We're here to talk about the development of Catz DS. And I want to kind of bookend it by talking about how we got into it. The first thing is we did some work for Ubisoft. We developed Trolls for them last year, 2005. And at the end of 2005, they asked us to help localize Catz GBA from Japan over to the US. So they gave us the source code, and we extracted all of the assets. We sent them off to be translated, and then we put them back in. So a little more complicated than that, but it was our introduction into Catz. So we took the cute little Japanese and turned it into cute little America, Japanese Catz game. I have a lot of slides, so I'm going to talk quickly, and hopefully my timing will work out pretty well. So as I mentioned, we did Trolls, and we've also did a game. We did Catz, and we did Winx. So there's a whole joke in the office about no S's allowed. We didn't know this, but Ubisoft had a large launch planned for Catz, well, not just us, for their brand Pets. So I want to talk a little bit about the who, what, why, where, when. I think I left out one of those. But first I want to talk about photography, which is a hobby of mine. And I really enjoy it. It combines anything you're interested in can be part of your photography, in short. So this was during the blackout from Times Square. I went out 2 in the morning or so and took a picture of all these people standing out, and it turns out when the power's off, all the tourists are stuck because the hotels all use those electronic card keys, and they weren't letting anybody back in. So it's this weird kind of like zombie atmosphere with all the tourists sitting on the steps, just looking around. What do? We don't know. No riding or anything. It was much different than 77 when I lived in Brooklyn. But that's for another presentation. All right, so back to this. So why are we making this? The long version is Ubisoft has had a lot of success with pets over the years, and even before it was an Ubisoft brand, it was done by, I think, Software Toolworks, a few other companies. And the DS is a new platform. So we were really excited about what we could do with the virtual pet on the DS. Of course, the short version of this is Nintendogs had come out and sold really, really well, and we wanted, along with Ubisoft, to take advantage of the interest in that genre. So we know it's us, we know it's Ubisoft, and then when you're making a game, you think about, okay, who's going to be playing this game? And a lot of times we work on specific licenses that have a really confined target demographic. This one was a much wider audience. We really wanted anyone to be able to sit down and play this game, whether they played a game before or whether they haven't, or if they were a hardcore gamer or not. So that gives us to the what. What is this? It's a virtual pet. But it also has to fall within the Catz brand. It's a loose license. So it's not that we have to adhere to a specific style guide, as you do with some licensed characters, but we needed to make sure that we created something that would fit in with everything else that Ubisoft had planned, which led us to come up with a mission statement. That mission statement was, always remember it's about the kitten. It's very easy when you're starting to plan and starting to design to think about all these different things you can do, designing a house, designing, well, we'll talk about photography in a little bit, but we wanted to focus on the kitten. And not just any kitten, but a real kitten. So when we struck on this very simple statement, but it always came back to us throughout the design of the game. Okay, back to photography. So another thing, again, so blackout, I run out. When it's when there's a blizzard, I run out also. Go to Central Park and I look around, and you can see the transformative quality of snow as it hits in Central Park. So I'm being slightly indulgent by having a bunch of people look at my photography and seeing it up on these big screens. But I'll get back. This will tie in later, sort of. Okay, so back to this real cartoon thing. Back to the focus on the real kitten. So do we go real or do we go cartoony? Pat's had a history of being kind of cartoony, but we wanted to focus on real. We wanted to make as real a 3D kitten as we possibly can. And we were questioning about, who are you, the player? Are you the kitten? Are you an owner? How does that work? We really wanted to shy away from any sort of an avatar. We did not want, we did allow you to name your player, but we didn't give you the ability to dress yourself up. We weren't making the Sims. We really just wanted to focus on the kitten. For a long time, the characters that you help in the game, there are other cat owners who need your assistance, were never referred to by their name. We just referred to them as, like Haley's owner or Poochie's owner. That got a little complicated when we were writing lots of email and dialogue for the game itself, so we switched away from that. But that's the exception rather than the rule. This ties into the when. Okay, so we know we want to make cute and adorable kittens. We want to make a virtual sandbox, and we wanted to, increase the genre. So, we do some research. What is cute? So, thanks to the internet, it's really easy to find cute. Kitten yearning for your attention, file under A for awe, or maybe it's file under W for wooka woo woo kitty. And then, I didn't think that would go over so well. And just other things. So, cute is kittens. This is cute. I'm completely going to steal from a known source. But it's not a kitten, right? It's a 3D model of a kitten. It's a picture of a kitten. It's not an actual kitten. But so we want, back to photography. So also going to Central Park when it's not snowing, you'll see performers there. And it's pretty neat. They do all sorts of stuff. You don't have to pay anything, but you probably should give them a couple bucks when you're out there. But this kind of ties in, which is when we're playing the game, we're thinking, okay, you have all these cute moments, going back to what is cute. Why not let the player capture those if they want to show them to their friends or share them? It's not just this moment that goes away, it's something that you get to share. When we looked at what is cute, all these people posted these pictures on the internet of what they thought was cute, and we thought it's not just the kitten doing something cute, it's that picture itself. So not only let the players take the pictures wherever you want, but we want to, this is the same thing, make sure the camera's always available. So we have a camera mode, and also just you can always hit the shutter when you're in the middle of the game. So in-game pictures of kittens wasn't something that we started to do when we were making a virtual cat, virtual kitten, but it was an idea that really tied into we're focusing on the kitten, we're focusing on these cute moments, and then that idea led to the other ideas of having different missions and using the photography as a means to solving them. Again, this is just showing off photo mode and our cute little 3D kitten. So we have, getting back to the overall theme of who, what, why, when, where, how, we only had about 7 months to make this game. So, and we had to do an international version with the other 4 languages, the main 4 European languages, and there was talk of doing a Japanese version. So how are we going to do this? We used our internal group, so many of those people are here, and we also used some external resources. And we were able to use some of the assets from the previous PEX games, including some of the voice samples, which saved us a little bit of time, but we wound up basically building everything from scratch. Fortunately, we have a lot of internal tools and technology for the DS, some of which were actually built during this game, which helped us to get things done. We did some more research. We found out something really interesting, which is when a kitten purrs, it purrs between 25 hertz and 150 hertz. And there's a whole theory as to that the low frequency is actually not just a soothing for the kitten itself or the kitten's owner, the lap that you're on, that wonderful 25 to 150 hertz, but it actually is also supposed to heal. So we wanted to try to recreate this purr, and we built it just a simple 25 hertz tone. And when we played it on the DS, and yeah. So when we played it on the DS, it actually made a purring sound, and not only did it sound like a kitten purring, but it felt like one too. In fact, one of the executives at Ubisoft, when he played the game, was holding the game and was fiddling around with it and petting the kitty. And then, when the kitten purred, they said, "Oh, I didn't know we had rumble pack support here." And it turned out that, by emulating 25 hertz, it physically vibrated the DS, which is a little neat effect that we just happened upon. So I'm going to show you a little bit of video in a second. How am I doing on time? Wait.
10 minutes.
Oh, excellent.